to Nerdlandia.
Welcome to Nerdlandia for another open mic bonus episode. I'm your host, Emily Case Buskirk. Today, we're featuring Saving Fiona, a band from Lincoln produced by Ian E. Yellow. Our conversation was super wholesome, and they were amazing enough to share 2 songs from their most recent album called What a Shame. Thank you all so much for joining me today. This is so exciting.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay, right out the gate, I have a burning question. Is the name a reference to Shrek?
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Everyone's first question.
Everyone's burning question.
Yeah. No, it's not very deep. It's again, we've talked about this a lot, how you often come up with like a stand-in name for your band. Like it's like, oh, we're gonna change it later, and then you never do. That's essentially what
just
happened.
Stuck. It's almost like a weird nickname you come up for your pet, and then it's just like, yeah, suddenly my pet's name is Muppet. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again,
that's exactly what happened.
It's got a good ring to it.
Oh, it really does, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also found out but
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that so much.
So additional lore.
Yes. So when did the band form?
We formed in 2020 during COVID because I knew Madeline and Annie knew Madeline and Kayla knew Madeline, and we all liked music. We had expressed an interest in being in a band, and so we all kind of got put together. I didn't know Annie before. We became fast friends, and we practiced with the very strict COVID precautions, and eventually we added on Haley earlier.
Last year.
Last year. Yeah, it was last year. It's been a while now that Haley's been on board, so
I think
cool.
like a year ago.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Time flies.
Yeah, and I knew Madeline separately. I have no clue how.
Okay.
We just kind of overlapped, similar circles.
There's some overlap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Same with Kayla.
well, okay.
And then
Because Kayla brought Haley into the band. I can't take credit for that.
yeah,
Madeline?
yeah. Kayla and I played a talent show together.
We did.
And did some music nights together. And then Kayla was like, "What? I don't know. I don't know what
here's
happened."
what
You asked
happened.
everyone.
At the beginning, so Madeline texted me when they had Ellie and Annie in this band they had started, and they were trying to get a band that was comprised of non-men. And Madeline texted me and was like, "Hey, do you know any girls who play drums?" And at the time, I was like, "No, but my brother's got a kit, so I'll figure it out." Now, I learned to play drums, and I could hold my own, but I prefer playing guitar, and so it was 3-4 years into the band, and I was like, okay, I think we should get a drummer who's more of a drummer because we can be better. And I knew Haley, and so I hit up Haley, and they were into it immediately.
Nice.
Yeah, it's actually Kayla playing drums on the album.
Oh.
And yeah, they sound great.
See,
Thanks.
you're just being
Yeah,
hard
and
on
I ended
yourself.
up taking a lot of. Yeah, I took a lot of what Kayla had played. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and learned the parts, and here we are.
Love that.
It's really nice having a fifth member. Like, it fills out our sound when we're live so much.
It gives so much flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we like switching instruments and stuff, so. Yeah.
Haley rules.
I also just love Haley.
Haley's a good influence.
Haley is awesome. Haley gets us to practice in a focused way.
Amazing. So a thing I always wonder about, and I never know how to ask about this, is like, how did you like gravitate toward your own like vibe and style and like your like kind of signature like aesthetic?
I don't think that was really a purposeful like choice to like create an image or an aesthetic or whatever. It kind of happened pretty automatically because we have yet to write a song all together. So we kind of just like came in with songs that we had all written on our own, and just, I guess, the combination of all of our personalities and ways of playing and the music that we like sort of just came together to form what our sound is. But we're always trying to be flexible and like open-minded, and we're not trying to be just one thing. So yeah, I don't think that was a distinct choice in the beginning, but as we've done more, we've tried to experiment a little bit more with how we can affect our sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say, yeah, I think that a big part of our sound is really like that we all write in the band. Like we write individually and then like bring things together. And I feel like a lot of it is just kind of like seeing where we all fit within each other. And I think that like a lot of us have like very similar inspirations, but like I think the overlap is actually probably not as perfect. Like I always think about this when we like try to find covers, and we can never agree because I think we all listen to very like pretty different music, or like we don't all listen to like one artist, you know? And so I appreciate that like we kind of all have like a little bit of different background when it comes to music. Like I know like Haley and I did like marching band, and like, you know, I've played piano ever since I was like 6, and so I have like that like, you know, like more of like a formal approach, I feel like. And then like Kayla's been in a ton of bands, and like Madeline and Ellie did orchestra, so like, you know, and then like I know some of us were in jazz bands too. So it's just like it's kind of nice that we all have like experience playing a lot of different genres and like being in different kinds of ensembles, because like I do think that being in this band has been like super freeing though, because I feel like out of all the things I've been in, it's been the most like open-ended and creative in that way. And yeah, I think outside of that, like in terms of like aesthetic, I do think that like I want to shout out Ellie. I think Ellie has been like really spearheading all of our like social media, and I feel like has been really like helpful in helping us create like an image, actually, just like in general. Like I feel like obviously like we all give input, but I think, you know, a lot of like I think Ellie has a very strong visual like idea in her head, and I think that a lot of the stuff that we end up like I guess displaying is a lot of like her direction. But yeah, and we have like we have friends who like also take pictures for us, and they have also been really helpful in like having an idea of like what we want to look like or whatever. Yeah.
Madeline and Annie have a lot of connections to very creative people through there, because they went to the Emerging Media Arts program through UNL.
Totally. Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying though, Annie, because I think that, I mean, firstly, it's like you have to build your identity like as a band and like figure that out, and then also communicate that visually. And I think that that's something that, yeah, a lot of times people don't really think about that. So, so I really appreciate you giving Ellie that shout out. That's so sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
I stand
Thank
Ellie.
you, Ellie.
Thank you, Ellie.
And well, I also have to say, like, speaking of visual stuff, I absolutely love the album art, like the stained glass shipwreck in your most recent album. I want to hear more deets on that and like how that came together.
That was designed by Rachel Dempsey.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's very good at graphic design. We saw a bunch of her stuff. Like I'd gone to art festivals or markets and seen her stuff and thought it was really cool. So we reached out to her, and she was excited to create some album art for us. And we gave her like a huge list of vibes, like not very specific information, just like we're like, it's got to be somber and like we want and be nostalgic, and like, you know, we gave her like, well, we didn't know the name of the album actually when we were when she designed it, so we just like put together this giant list and made this like PowerPoint of like random pictures that we thought connected to each song, because we were just and we gave her a lot of creative freedom to just figure something out, and I think she did an amazing job of kind of tying a lot of the elements of the songs together into a concise piece of art.
Yeah, she totally killed it.
It's cool as well because like the stained glass like image of it's actually, I think it's a snow globe with like a house inside. I don't know. We like it was like a combination of various things we had suggested, and that was like she had done like various options and then was like, oh, and I also did this. And we were like, wait, that's so great.
What is the first song y'all wanted to share?
I think the first one should be Exploitation.
Lifted up off our backs, took our rights and took our cash. Said your ways were tit for tat, right? When we rise, you'll be looking like a hypocrite.
Because Ellie is right here.
Heck yeah.
I think it's pretty clear what exploitation is about. It's a frustration that a lot of us feel living in this hellscape. But I think, I wrote it in like the deep, dark pit of COVID in 2020, and just like seeing how our government was failing us, seeing how profits were being put over everyone's safety and well-being. I was just like, it was the middle of the night. I was like feeling some type of way, and I just wrote it out, stream of consciousness style. So yeah, and then I presented it to the band, and they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna make. Annie was like, let's lay down a sick bass line. And Annie came up with this sick bass line. And then, Kayla got some drums banging on it, and Madeline got some guitars on it. And now Haley has enhanced the drum part to make it even more exciting. So yeah, the other band members really helped to take it from like, just words to a full like sound.
Yes. Oh, I know. As you're like describing that, I do love all the different facets and how it comes together, and like it is a banger, but then it's like you like feel like the rage, but then you're like, I also want to like kind of like bop along, like
Yeah. Shout out Ian Alio because he really took exploitation to another level with a lot of his creative ideas too. So we have a music video out for exploitation.
And what was the other song y'all wanted to share?
Which one did we?
Little
yeah.
Girl, I think.
Yeah.
The world had color everywhere except through those doors in grayscale sofas, eternally judged by the man in thorns. Play the usual songs on stage, songs of Solomon and kings. The old man said it was in his bones. Guess he knows now that he's gone.
we were all good with that one.
Yeah. Little Girl is one of my favorites on the album. Like, I think that's one that I go back to the most.
Yeah, Little Girl has definitely one of like my favorite like moments in the album, and I think actually Ian said that his favorite, like one of his favorite moments, is also in that song. There's like a lot going on like production wise, and I think it turned out like shout out Ian Alio. Like I think he understood the vision. Like I think like so. I mean, I think Ellie can go in a little bit more about like what the song's about, but it's just I feel like sonically that song really I think ties into the meaning of the song. I think like with all the music choices that were made in terms of like amount of reverb and when to not use it and like instrumentation and the way we sang certain parts and whatnot. So
for people who might not have heard the song yet, what is it about?
It is about growing up with adults who express a lot of love towards you and a lot of care, and maybe even, I mean, in my case, they took me under their wing, and even though I was kind of the odd one out, specifically in a Christian church environment, the song was me kind of reflecting on that and how, like, when I was a kid going to church, there were all these adults who really gave a lot of care towards me, but now that I've grown up and become my own person, and certain ways that I live my life or certain beliefs I have, they may not support anymore. But I'm the same person that I was when I was a little girl, So that's the question of the song. Did you love me or did you just love the little girl?
Yes. Was your love conditional or
Well,
no?
that's really well said.
It's
Very
about,
well said.
just I think there is a lot of conditional love within the Christian church. Not knocking all the Christians, but my experience, the church that I went to, it was very conditional that you kind of conform to everyone else's beliefs. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I relate a lot to Little Girl despite not having been the one who wrote it, because I think there's something to be said for like when you're a little girl, like how people love you for the fact that you are naive and for the fact that like you have not yet sinned in a big way. And like people, I think it's like sometimes I was afraid to grow up because I knew it would be disappointing to people, but I just relate to the point of Ellie's song, and it articulated a lot of feelings that I had that I hadn't really like put into words before. So I actually appreciated her writing that for that reason.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Like when you're like small and a child, it's like you are still very much under the influence and control of like those like older like people and adults and parents around you or whatever, and at that time you're what they want you to be, and like you meet their expectations and then you start to grow out of it, and it's like, okay, do you want me to be what you want me to be, or do you want me to be what I want to be?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's so relatable. And I think like you're both saying, people are just really enamored of like the potential, and then they like project all this stuff onto you.
Yes.
And then it's like people just like grow up and become their like own person, and then they're like, what?
They're like, what is that?
And sonically with Little Girl, we kind of tried to be cheeky about it and make it sound like Christian rock band.
I did not pick up on that.
So the way it starts, especially, I think as it goes on, it gets a little less like that, but
a little
like,
more edge.
The electric piano and the like really simple bass line and the like overlaying harmonies and stuff, we're just kind of, and also there's some horn in there. So all elements that, well, for me, I remember from playing in church band.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. Ellie and I feel like had a very similar church upbringing. Like I mean, to my knowledge, neither of us were raised Catholic. Like we grew up in like a
Non-denominational.
church. Yeah, like a church that has like acoustic guitars, like like that kind of vibe. And so like I remember being in church band, and like there is definitely like a certain sound to like Christian. I mean, there's something to be said about like there's this whole theory that people have that like a lot of people who go to church actually just like really like music. But the thing is, it's like I feel like I mean that's a whole can of worms there, and I think that, you know, like I think they do definitely put something in their music that is just like, it's really easy to like feel very uplifted by Christian rock music, I think. And like I think it's very interesting because I think Little Girl is kind of like an upbeat lifting song in a way. And like just thinking about though, like in things we purposely did, I know like, you know, we made it a whole thing to have a lot of like choral inspired like backup vocals, and so that was like a huge thing that I think we really pushed when we were recording the song. And like we also wanted to like towards the end where I come in with like the like I think it's not quite the bridge, it's like I'm singing the lead part and then Madeline and Ellie are singing like a bit of a different line. And I remember like we were like mixing the whole song and stuff, and like I know Ian Ailey like purposefully made my vocals like completely dry without any like reverb on it as like kind of like a grounding moment in the song. Like so I feel like that's kind of like an interesting way that like we threw in a little bit of like kind of like shaping the storytelling of the song, of like there becoming like a resolution towards the end, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
Okay. Any upcoming things you're excited about or want the people to know about?
Yeah, I mean, just check out our Instagram for all of our upcoming shows, and
At Saving Fiona.
yeah.
At Saving Fiona.
And yeah, we want to write more music. Like this is just the beginning.
So true.
Hell yes. Well, thank you all for joining.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
you for having us.
It's fun.
I love their song, Exploitation, so much, and you have to go watch the music video for it right now. It's an absolute delight, and you get to see them take down the boss. That's all I got for you this week. Thanks for tuning in to this bonus episode of Nerdlandia. Nerdlandia is hosted, produced, and edited by Emily Case Buskirk. Theme song and ending credit music by Keith West. Cover art by Ellen Stebbings.